It's
there's a
massive
clear
at the moment.
there's a clear mentality issue, and Staffy spoke about the game management when you're 2-0 up and then when you're 3-1 up. With that, I will say Ten Hag can't mitigate for Onana doing what he did to make it 2-1 and 3-2. So there's that. But what the players could do is have some balls themselves and control the situation themselves. But this is where we come down to Ten Hag. Where's this mentality that he's supposed to bring in? Like, where is
it's not just the
composure?
mentality.
But where is the composure? Where is the ability to sense the situation and adapt to that situation and know what to do? Yes, Ten Hag sets out game plans, and yes, he has to adjust things during games. But as a player, you should be smart enough to be able to change things in your own game to make things better. Like, this ain't FIFA. Ten Hag hasn't got the controller and doing everything himself.
The game plan was garbage, KJ. Let's just listen. I don't want to listen. Onana, we fairly spoke about him because he sold the game 100%. We're not denying that. But we also have to talk about the game plan, because the game plan without Onana's mistakes was still shit. It was so bad. This is not how you should be approaching this game. There's no way I'm getting peppered for 90 minutes from Galatasaray, bro. And I said this, I swear I said this on my channel. I said, if we give them the same volume of chances that we gave Everton, we will concede, because there will be moments. They have more quality than Everton has. The reason Everton didn't score against us is because they don't have quality players up front. They do. They have Icardi. They have Ziyech. They have Mertens. They have Zaha. They had so many chances. By the way, they had so many chances that they missed. I wouldn't say clear-cut chances, but they were shooting much more on goal. I didn't even check the stats. People like to call me a stat merchant. I didn't even check the stats, but I know I watched the game. We all watched the game. We saw that they dominated the game more than us. We were just a little bit more clinical than them because we got less chances and we were scoring from them. But there's no way I'm 2-0 up and I still can't control the game. And we've been doing this all season. Today, Kobe Mainoo, when he came on, he fell a victim of what we've been talking about all season. The sixes struggle in this way that he sets up. He took out a 6 and brought on a 6. I think everyone here would agree, when you're at 3-1 up, you're looking at that and you're like, go with a double pivot. Because why not? That gives you more security in the midfield. And even with your build-up, let's just say you want to build up from back and all that, it gives you two sixes instead of one. He did not do that.
I totally agree.
And why he's an 18-year-old, and we're up 3-1, and you took out the only 6 that you would have kept with him. Why don't you just put him next to him? He gave us a very good performance against Everton, but come on, everyone knew he's eventually going to fall victim to the same thing that's happened to all our 6s. It's just common sense for me that you lock up the game from there. It's 60 minutes. You're up 3-1. Just be a little bit more secure, because that midfield didn't exist. It looked like a basketball game.
And also, Mainoo on that third goal, he did actually everything right. He did everything right.
It was just a very good finish, honestly.
He tracked his man, good finish. But again, Onana covering that post. So, like, you're right, Staffy. The number 6 position at Man United, what Ten Hag has done to it has destroyed it. What he did last season was fine. He had 2 midfield. We had played a double pivot. We had 2 midfielders, 1 destroyer, 1 controller in Eriksen and Casemiro. And we won on a fantastic run last season with that. He switched to this single pivot. He switched to the double 8s. And it's just not worked. And what does Mctominay have to do to be dropped? Because, yes, he can score goals. And if he's coming off the bench to score goals for Man United, I'm cool with him being in the squad. I really am. But when we're in games where now we need to control it, now that we're 3-1 up, he is a passenger. He is a passenger. And I don't understand what he's done to warrant this loving right now for Ten Hag.
I feel like it's the first
maybe save his job. Maybe he knew he was getting sacked against Brentford and those 2 goals saved his job. So now he's repaying that. Like,
it must be, bro.
It must be that, because he don't make no sense.
Mate, no, listen, I hear you. Like, I agree with everything you've said, Staffy. I said it at the end of my rant at the top of the show that Kobe coming on was right, but it should have been for Scott McTominay. You solidify the middle, you stop them from creating, you slow the game down at the right times, you hold on to possession. And I said it to you the other day, like I've defended Casemiro a lot of this season. I don't think he's necessarily as gone as people say, but you've got a young man like Kobe who's got a bit of speed about him and got young 18-year-old legs. He's struggling when he's by himself. When you're a 30-odd-year-old man, it's going to be difficult. But that was a perfect opportunity to actually give some support to Amrabat, bring someone young and youthful next to him to do a little bit more of the running, shield, slow things down, catch him again on the counter, and actually sit here tonight, celebrate a very big win. It would have been the first time winning away there in our lives where nobody thought we could. And then you have an exciting home game against Bayern Munich that's already qualified in the final game of the group stages. And you could turn around and go, do you know what? Like, it could have been a look, we could still theoretically qualify if Copenhagen and Galatasaray draw and we win. But at the same time, like to be where we are with Onana, as you say, Onana has almost single-handedly done this to us. But yeah, you're right about the control. Sunshine's here with us, mate. Another terrible night, really, for Man United.
I mean, I got to the 2-0 stage and I was thinking, this is it, it's game over. Can we hold on to a win? And then the free kick up and lo and behold, it's funny how football switches around, man. It's funny how football switches around. The goalkeeper just shot us in the foot, man, twice. And big games like that, big moments, he's the most experienced UCL player there. Should be able to deal with the pressure moment there. And again, I think it's not a case to say De Gea in. It's not that, but I think we're showing now that we're a bit too emotional last season with our goalkeeper, because mistakes happen quite evidently easily. And respectfully, Onana's had a lot of credit so far this season for his saving ability, and it's not a dig at him. It's just a very honest observation of this goalkeeper is capable of doing exactly what was happening last season. And even his kicking today, give the ball away twice. If you're meant to be better in that area, respectfully, we should see it. We can't rave about replacing an area of a goalkeeper's game and then it just be on the same level, or if worse, especially in a big Champions League match. So a level of pressure has to be put on him for that, because you come with a reputation. That goes with any other player that you bring in that has a ceiling and has gassed and hyped up. Now, that's not me saying I want him out of the team. Of course not. I've given very, very fair criticism today on this show and on my own platform. So it's not a case of I said this and I told you this, but it's just an awakening to go, we were probably a little bit too harsh on De Gea last season. And, we saw the clean sheet stats going around, was it just 2-3 days ago about Onana, and people saying, I got people tagging me in saying, see, I told you, we haven't forgot about Onana. It wasn't even about his clean sheets, but then in my head, I'm thinking, well, did I not try gas up the clean sheets De Gea had last season? I wanted a piece of that. So for the fickle fan base that are, too emotional and too erratic, you can hold an L respectfully, because you ain't got no perspective, and you're bringing this on yourself. So you should not be in no pain at the moment. This is what you asked for. On the flip side, we did enough to win the game. Even if we concede those 2 goals, given the mistakes, and I'll be exactly the same. I won't be a hypocrite. I'll be exactly the same with De Gea. If you create chances enough and you put the ball in the back of the net, then whether you make a mistake or not, you should be able to go and grind out a win. And respectfully, we should have been 3-0 up. Luke Shaw, absolutely terrible. Awful touch. Højlund drops the ball back, should be 3-0. You kill the game when you can. Because when you're a team that's low on confidence, just because you scored 2 great goals, you still got the ability to then at least go and concede. And we know that's in our nature. So we're not going to go across to Galatasaray and not concede. Standard. I think everyone was fair to have that judgment. If you said clean sheet, fair play to you. But respectfully, the Galatasaray are capable of scoring. If they score 1, they can score 2, especially against this United team. So, yeah, I'm disappointed, man. I'm disappointed, but it's just a hard pill to swallow, man. Real hard pill to swallow, because Onana kept us in the game as well so many times. Some great saves. It's just a shame we couldn't finish our dinner and he made those 2 mistakes and it's cost us, man.
Yeah, on what you're saying about De Gea, it's one of those ones. I'm like, I respect what you're saying about how you would have kept him, but either way, De Gea should have left. I've got to the point where it's not about comparing what Onana's done to De Gea last season. It's just about we made the right decision to move on De Gea and we got the wrong goalkeeper. That's all it is.
This is the issue, right, for me, KJ. It didn't make sense to get rid of him just yet. I agree. Again, we'll go over this again, but I said I've got no issue getting rid of De Gea. No issue. It's not a problem. But are we going to spend 46 million to replace the pros and the cons? And respectfully, so far, we've seen that he's got saving ability. The kicking angle ain't there. And that's 46 million that we should have put somewhere else. Get rid of De Gea, no problem. But we've got to go and replace the key areas where we're struggling. This season, our front three aren't bagging goals. It's the same situation.
We are in the Champions League.
Okay, let me add something to that. Let me add something to that. Because I agree with you, Sunshine. By the way, since you joined late, you probably don't know this stat. We have the third most goals in Europe, the Champions League. So we're the third highest scorer. But I agree with you and disagree at the same time for this reason. If we got, and I want to blame the manager, and I'll tell you why. If we got in a goalkeeper, because we were supposed to change the style of play this season, I'm not seeing it. I don't see the change of style of play, and we're conceding chances by the same volume that we were conceding last season, where we had De Gea for that 4. As much as I want to blame Onana for not being good for his hands, he really isn't, and I blame them for us being eliminated. But at the same time, I just want to ask the manager, why did you sign him if you're not going to use him to his strength? That's all I want to know. Why did we sign a ball-playing goalkeeper?
It's a fair point to make up, but this is what I said about style of football. It's okay to, on the surface level, you go, okay, I bring this keeper in because I want to play style of football, no problem. But this is when I can repeat what I was saying beforehand, where I said to you, we'll probably concede more and probably create more this season. And I said probably. And I said, in order for Onana to work to his best ability, you need all the profiles working in the same format. You need them. When he kicks the ball long, only Højlund's bringing that ball down. Our wingers are awful bringing the ball down under control. So therefore, we're going to turn over the ball. And then if he does make a mistake with his kick and gives it to the opposition, it looks even worse. Even when we play out the sorry Terry, just quickly. When we play out the back, when Maino comes into that 6, you can start to see why again De Jong was so important. It enables the goalkeeper, and ultimately we can bypass Harry Maguire's deficiencies because he's still in that hole. But when you haven't got certain profiles for your system, it's very hard to expect to see the style of play to be played all the time. And this is why I said on my TikTok just the other day that Onana, the kicking will flourish later on when you get the profiles in. This is why I said we've taken too far of a step back with the signings we've brought because we haven't got the profiles to be able to make them play consistently. Therefore, there's going to be holes.
I think there is an element of truth to that. But most of my issues with him, the goals he's been letting in, I wouldn't expect the goalie of Luton to concede. Does that make sense? They've not even been. My mate Phil said this to me. He said it's like he's lackadaisical. It's like he's chilling. It's like he's just not putting effort in. But like, I got this. Oh no, there's a mistake. It's crazy. But like, I want to go to some of these super chats here. First one says, I forgot which club signed David De Gea this season. It's not about keeping De Gea though. It's about, I get what Sunshine's saying. If we'd have spent that money on a different area of the football pitch, we might be a better team so far this year. Who is available and perfect after Ten Hag? Who is going to blood youngsters like Mainu and Garnacho? Well, this is the thing, V33. It's not about the manager. You pick, the club should insist on that. The club should control how we're run. The coach just coaches the team. That is how all the great clubs do it, my friend. Talk about Mctominay handball, Galatasaray robbed. It was never a handball.
I was very surprised I didn't give that, to be fair. I wouldn't call it a robbing, but considering all the handballs they was given,
I wasn't though, because his arm was by his side and it hit his bicep, which is the shirt line. So when I saw it, I didn't think they'd give it to you. And I'm skeptical on that stuff. I thought it was the right, but I hear you. Newcastle and Liverpool are gonna make love to us. We're
all gonna be in Europa League, baby. Let's go.
Stop criticizing African players for representing.
No, so Safdie wasn't criticizing Onana for going. He wants him to go and not come back. Those are two different things. It's such a stupid
comment.
Come on,
first of all, bro. It's just a stupid comment.
And by the way,
I'm Egyptian, so I am African myself.
I'm about to say he's criticizing anyone
for going to AFCON. I'm just saying you're so bad. Go to AFCON and not come back. If you want to catch me off with something that I actually say.
Yeah.
That just so
I'm going to say this as well. If Palestri scores that goal at the end, or Martial, I can't believe Martial didn't square it to Bruno. But if he does, if we score those goals, I still have exactly the same energy for the goalkeeper, because win, lose, or draw, he has to go.
By the way, you reminded me, Taylor, on that point, Palestri, I'm never making a case for him again.
He's
not kicks the ball like a toddler, bro.
Can I just say this about Palestri? You know what we've seen from Kobe in the last 2 games?
Yeah.
You know what I always say? You see straight away whether someone's of the level to become a great player for your club. And Palestri just isn't it. He's had too many chances, and I go, meh. every now and then a good skill, but he just he don't do anything.
He can honestly, we spoke about this on the phone before. Terry. He confuses me, this young man, because when he plays for Uruguay, he's good. Right hand side, driving at defenders, creating things making things happen. Sorry, I think he can do something. As soon as he comes to United, his powers go.
But you know what it is? It's because typically speaking, international football is not as difficult as Champions League and Premier League football. Like Man City as a football team could beat most international sides.
Right.
They just
Never used to be like that either. You got to remember
they just would. So that's why international football just isn't as good. It's different.